And welcome back to Let's Play Persona 3. It's Tartarus time once again, and we've got one more section to get through in Persona 3 Portable, so we may as well pop over here, take care of that, see some of the new enemies that there are to see. In fact, we'll probably be seeing all of the new enemies, well, actually, we will be seeing all of the new enemies in Portable, regardless of how many I encounter, while it's still our main point of focus for the exploration, because the FES recording is already done and dusted, got all of the Tartarus gameplay that I care to show recorded there, so anything that I didn't cover in FES, gonna be covered in Portable, because, well, I know that I'm in a position to do so. Something's different about the enemies around there. I'll scan ahead. Might take some time, though. Indeed, what's different about the enemies here, Fuka, is that they give out ludicrous amounts of experience. We are going to be just seeing so many level ups coming through here, especially if I get lucky with wand cards. We can start getting 10 of wands at this point. That'll really juice up the amount of experience here. And hey, we got the star of the show when it comes to this, the Nemean Beast, a level 76 enemy who is conveniently weak to fire, flanked by some devious Mayas who they nullify ice and are weak to elect, which I don't really care about. They're neutral to fire, should be taken out just fine by it. Both these guys going to be giving us quite a lot of experience. It's going to work out wonderfully for us. They both have, let's see, the Nemean Beasts have 409 HP. Surprising that they survived that considering they have the weakness. Well, the Devious Mayas only have 390, so pretty easy to take them out once you have the proper setup for it, which I just so happen to. Going to take an opportunity to remind you of that whenever it presents itself. Okay, let's get our 8 of wands here. And yeah, very good experience gonna start coming through. We're also going to see Abaddon level up, and that's going to get us Absorb Strike. Let's just replace, well, actually I can get rid of his Nullify Strike. Take that over there. But more importantly than that, because he's learned all his skills, Abaddon's about to produce something. Yes, of course, I will allow it to continue. Get our Tome of the Void. Very nice. Immunity to all mental ailments. So helpful for so many things in the game. I'm actually, once we get to 238, I'm probably going to warp back to the base floor real quick. Fuse him off into something. We probably got a new enemy over here. Let's just see what this guy is. Bait him out. But yeah, fuse him off into something, you know, new and shiny. And then just pull him right back out of the compendium. I probably will let that one idle around for a little bit because I can get an Absorb Strike card, which could potentially come in handy. Ooh, we got another new enemy here, the Jotun of Evil. These guys can be pretty devastating. 1260 HP, they are weak to physicals and repel everything else. Now, to help themselves out here, they have the corresponding evade skills to every physical type, so that can be potentially dangerous. Luckily, we managed to land our first strike on them. I'm not going to go for the all-out attack here because they cannot dodge while they are downed, so doing a rush on them, much more effective. As you can see, Velvel Maruga completely trumps the damage the rest of the ladies are dealing, although it also helps that I have capped out strength, so we're seeing just so much coming through there. I was hoping I got the Haridi there. Luckily, I get a mulligan real quick, so let's see if I can't actually pay attention to which card that was this time. There we go. Give me more fusion options. It'll be interesting to see what I can make with that and Abaddon, if anything. If I have to fuse Abaddon into something else, well, that's just fine. It is actually kind of difficult at this stage in Persona 3 FES and Portable specifically to make good things of new Arcanas, because not all Arcanas are created equal. Many of their levels top out much sooner than the rest of them. Like, Sir is level 52, that is the strongest magician you can get, and remember, the fusion results is determined by the base level of the persona you create. This is less of an issue in Reload, where many of the Arcanas had their levels bumped up a little bit so that they all end not quite at the same time, but a lot closer to each other, and in such a way that it's a lot easier to create things with every Arcana, even at any point in the game. Alright, let me go fuse off Abaddon and get a fresh one. Before we get into the nitty-gritty with Reload in this video, I have decided on my final team for Persona 3 Reload. There's not really much left of the game, so I don't really feel like rotating in more of the cast. We're going to be going with Koromaru, Akihiko, and Aegis for this playthrough. Koromaru is here because he is, just not being used in the other versions of the game, so I'd like to get him some floor time. Akihiko's been retooled to be more of an attacker, so I think he's interesting to show off in this game. Compared to the characters in the other versions of the game, he was pretty heavily retooled, no longer just a debuff bot, and Aegis is also just doing pretty good for herself as a physical attacker in this version, so I figured I'd just keep sticking with her. Also, I like Aegis, so we're going to keep using Aegis. Since we have settled on a team to use for the rest of the game, we're going to use up the rest of our incenses here. We're going to pump these into Aegis, get her close to capping out her core statistics in her strength and her endurance, so that's looking pretty good for us there. Then her stats will start to redistribute and make her a bit more balanced across the board. We're going to give these luck incenses to Akihiko, since any little bit he could use to help out his chances of critting with God's Hand will be much appreciated, and we're also going to funnel all these Master Incenses into him, because he can benefit the most from having more of both of his attacking stat, and again, more luck for him, more chances for him to crit with God's Hand. There we go! Moving into new enemies here, we've got Eternal Eagles. I actually didn't run into these guys in, Portable or FES on video. Spoiler, so we're only seeing the reload versions of these guys because I don't feel like recording just to get them. They are weak to Pierce and Ice skills, aka nothing that Koromaru does great against, but we can eventually work our way around to someone who can do something good with that. If we're lucky, he'll crit. If we're unlucky, he won't crit. Hey! We are lucky. Good boy, good boy. Let's pass on over to the protagonist and just get him with Bufudyne here. We'll have Vishnu get a little floor time here. It'll be a bit before he reaches his full potential. I need to get an Ice Amp card onto him, which I want to dupe so I can have more flexibility with it. And I need to get him single target boost, obviously. Next new enemy for us to take out is the Death Castles. They are vulnerable to wind. Again, not something that we're getting to that point again where the protagonist is just slow. It is so irritating in this game that he's always dead last in the turn order. It does make things complicated when we don't have something that is particularly effective against these guys, particularly when just the way things line up. I'm not able to exploit any crits either. This guy's got a concentrate going, so that's going to be some pretty significant damage, but I still had my guards from the last turn also, so it wasn't exactly that big a deal. We're going to go for the Myriad Arrows here. Yeah, actually the Myriad Arrows. I was going to say, maybe we could go for the Akasha Hearts for the crits, but then I remembered, oh right, the distressed guys are immune to that. Let's see. Do I still have Magarudyne on Norn, just out of curiosity? Yes, I do, so this will be a good way to get some pretty significant damage spread around on these guys. Excellent, excellent. Let me think. You know what? I'm just gonna go for another Magarudyne. Why mess around if you don't have to? A little costly in terms of SP, but still works out just fine for us. Man, floor jump is so appreciated. Anyways, I was able to fuse off Abaddon into Jorlunga using a triangle spread. I was Loki and I think Hellbiker that I used. I had a Hellbiker kicking around, yeah. Jorlunga is actually a pretty solid ice caster, picks up Ice Amp by default, and has Bufudyne by default as well. Oh, hey, the Cardinal Snakes have already been demoted. These guys are, in fact, weak to ice, but they are not resistant to fire like the boss variants are. They only have 361 HP, so we're just going to pop off and take them out. Nice and easy. Glad we're getting through a lot of the new enemies here already. Hey, our first 10 card. Nice. Granted, it's not that great because it's the coin card. The difference in pay yield from the 10 of coins and the 9 of coins is super small, actually. Occasionally, the 10 of coins can give you, like, 90k. I actually got the ultimate encounter for getting a lot of EXP in this part of Tartarus. 2 Jotun of Evils and 2 Nemean Beasts. You can get a ton of experience off of that if you get a Wand card. Also got my final Tome of the Void there, and I just realized that I didn't have my Speed Enhancer equipped. Which is why that fight can actually be pretty perilous. The Jotun of Evil are very, very threatening enemies. Do not sleep on them. Another good encounter for good experience there is 3 Nemean Beasts. Very nice to see when it happens. I'm hoping I'm getting a lot of those encounters, because in particular it'll catch up Aegis a ton and allow her to deal a lot more damage when she has Akasha Arts. And then, of course, sometimes you get crap like a bunch of devious Mayas. I'm just thinking, like, is it really worth it at this point to stop for treasure so much? Because we're actually at a point where it is a pretty real concern that we're going to be at the money cap, and I can't actually get any more money. Oh hey, another new enemy here, Wicked Turret. This guy repels physicals, is strong against fire, but is vulnerable to Odin just completely obliterating him with Thunder Rain. Only has 405 HP, though like most turrets, it probably has pretty strong defensive values, so we'll see if this takes it out in a single shot. Hey, more than enough. That is the power of the tier 4 spells. It's nice to have a game in the series where those are actually pretty good. There are some games in the series where the tier 4 spells are notoriously stinky. Actually, in Persona 4, the jump in power between the Tier 3 and Tier 4 spells is pretty... Hey, nice. Need a homunculi there. I was pretty sure this wasn't the payday floor. I didn't have it in my notes, which, as we saw with the world balance boss fight, isn't always the most reliable indicator, but in this case, I was being a bit more thorough with my searching, so I was pretty sure that wasn't gonna have any great treasure there, no awesome equipment. But homunculi, we've had so many instances where I just get like hit by Mahamon. Can you believe you made it that far? Oh, sorry. Next Guardian will be on the 244th floor. Don't worry, you'll be fine. We're a team, right? Let's win this one too. And hey, another incidental Judgment social link level. Makes me feel good, makes me feel good. Power to create persona of the Judgment Arcana has grown. Excellent stuff. You'll love to see it. Sorry if you hear a vacuum cleaner going off in the background. Somebody is cleaning the halls in my apartment, it seems. I guess is leveling up pretty rapid throughout this. Started at level 61, now she's at level 68. I don't think she's going to get Akasha Arts before we're done with the exploration here. But as long as we can get her close, I'll be happy. Let's see, let's bait this guy out. There we go. Always a good idea to de-aggro them. Again, like I've just demonstrated so many times through my own ineptitude, do not sleep on the enemies in Persona 3. Bad things can and will happen to you if you underestimate them. There is a reason why I've made my setup so optimized to take out the enemy before they even have a chance to do anything. Like, you just don't want to take that risk. Let's see here if I can get this guy. Yes! Yeah, what the heck, I'll keep on going with my commentary. I already ran into one rare form at this point in Portable. I got one medal available. I also got, eventually, all the rare form encounters that I needed in FES, so I've got the platinum medals there to turn in. Next time I'm recording for it, I can turn in that quest. It would be nice if I could at least claim that quest within the Persona 3 Portable recording for this video. That would be fun. That would be delightful. Hey, this is actually a payday floor that I didn't have in my notes, so I better take this one down. I was wondering, I believe this is one where I found a bead, and I was just kind of on a time crunch and in a hurry to get to the next boss floor, so I kind of just glossed over it when I was doing the FES recording. Hey, more new enemies. We've got Platinum Dice here. These guys are strong against physical attacks, nullify fire, ice, and wind, but are weak to elect, which naturally makes them not that terrifying. In the back there, we've got a Fierce Cyclops. This guy drains slash and fire skills, but is otherwise neutral to everything else, so with Odin, we can probably just pop off with 2 Maziodines, call it a battle there. If the Cyclops in the back even survives, which has a decent chance to, because it's level 78, so the level scaling probably puts in some work for the damage it takes there. I almost went for a rush there to finish him off, but that would have been a huge mistake, considering that the FEMC does indeed have a slash-type weapon. Hey, that's actually the first 10 of wands that we've come across at this point. Gives us 4.2x experience. Very, very solid. Just such a good thing to see. Not gonna focus too hard on fighting every encounter that I get into, but there is one more enemy type that I haven't come across yet. Actually, you know what? Is that guy still turned around? Nah, okay, he's coming back. I missed my opportunity. You miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. Ah, man! I'm having terrible timing here. That's okay. These things happen, We just gotta learn to deal with them every now and again. That guy is probably not...
starting to look exhausted.
That always throws me off guard when Fuka pops in with that. It's also funny when you get a Fuka line that is recorded post Persona 3 Vanilla, because the original voice actress for Fuka, she actually did improve pretty considerably throughout the process of recording through Persona 3. Oh hey, we got more new enemies here. We've got the Wrathful Book. These guys have ridiculously low HP, only 237. Weak to fire, repel ice, and drain wind. We also got the Emperor Beetles over here. They nullify slash and pierce attacks, but are weak to strike skills, otherwise neutral to everything else. So I think we should just pop off with Cert and call it a day. That'll deal with these guys admirably enough. There we go, not bad, not bad. And then just hit him with a double tap of Maragidyne. Glad that I'm running into a good chunk of the available enemies here. Alrighty. Grab this 10 of Swords. Not because I'm going to use the weapon, but because it sells for a ton of money. Damascus Rapier, ooh, how much money would that be? I think like 168k, I think. Remember that all equipment sale prices, been a while since we've gone over this, but all equipment sale prices are doubled in Persona 3 Portable, so I'm always glad to see equipment when I get it. In fact, if you're trying to make as much money as possible, it is just a better idea with the shuffle times to take equipment. You get so much more money from selling the equipment you get from that in Portable than the coin cards. It's really just not even a contest. Towards the end of the game. Of course, the obvious benefit of the coin cards is that you get the money right then and there. You can use it for any compendium expenses that you make while within Tartarus.
Shouldn't we go back for the night?
No, Fuka, we're fine. We're fine. I actually like Fuka's voice acting as of the answer. Whoops, that's a disaster. This could be a really big problem. Let's see what we got here. Okay, Deikaja, not the most threatening thing these guys could do. Let's see, I gotta remind myself of what these guys are weak to. Right. We want to pop off with Maziodynes here. Unfortunately, my buffs have been eliminated, so not gonna be able to hit quite as potently or as accurately, as you can see there. Let's see, they don't have anything on ice, so I can go with Mabufala. Still carting around Mabufala at this point. Hey, Frozen, which doesn't really do much except makes it so they cannot dodge, but hey. Yeah, that is all the freeze status does. Pretty underwhelming in contrast to the shock status, which gives guaranteed criticals. It's funny, because guaranteed criticals was actually an aspect of the freeze status in Nocturne and Digital Devil Saga, as well as eliminating the enemy's physical resistance. I guess that was considered to be too good, so the status is considerably nerfed in this game. Alright, that was a little scary, but we made it through, okay? Sometimes that kind of thing happens. Okay, nice. Yukari's getting pretty close to having Meidirahan, and hey, this would have helped out to have a couple seconds ago. Mitsuru now has Mabufudyne. She's now working her way towards innate Ice Amp, which will overwrite her Ice Boost. So it's a good idea to make sure you still have your Ice Braces around, because remember, 2 instances of Ice Amp will not stack. I was embarrassed when I stated that they do stack at the start of the LP, but no, unfortunately, they do not. You want to get 2 separate abilities going together there. Just working my way quickly to the stairs now, because I'm honestly kind of cruising at this point. Not feeling too compelled to get more levels for the upcoming boss fight. I think I should be able to handle that one pretty fine. Let's see. There's still one more enemy I can probably encounter on this floor if I get lucky. We'll see. I think the next section just adds one or two new enemies to the pool, and otherwise it's the same encounter pool. I must say, it is just delightful to be able to blast off with Odin, and nothing good on this floor, so let's get to the next boss floor real quick. 3 enemies in the middle. Be careful. We should be able to handle them just fine. In Persona 3 FES to start, of course. And once again, we return to FES. Nothing too particular about my setup going into this fight beyond the usual, but I do want to remark on something that I did fuse for this occasion, Skatak. It doesn't need to be Skatak specifically for this fight, but anything that has myriad arrows, Sibylle is another easy one to fuse for this, is very, very handy to have here. This fight is kind of a warm-up for one of the more infamous bosses in the game, for reasons that we'll get into, well, just now.
This is no ordinary enemy. Don't let your guard down.
You've just been full of wisdom with these recent ones, Fuka. But these are Fierce Cyclopses, and they are very, very resistant to anything that is not pierce damage. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to put Akihiko on heal and support. We're going to have Ken go for full assault. We're going to have Junpei on full assault, just to see if there's anything that he can do. But otherwise, we're going to be pretty dependent on the protagonist for damage here, because Skatak's Myriad Arrows is pretty much the only good source of damage we really have against these guys, so that's what we're going to be pretty reliant on. Whenever we see the critical cut-in, well, we know we got a critical, so that is just wonderful to see. Ken's going to go for his Vile Assault here, which is actually pretty appreciated. That's a pretty good amount of damage right there. Akihiko, what are you doing? I put you on heal and support for a reason. Well, regardless, these guys have their own bag of tricks when it comes to physical attacks. They are going to power charge, and they also have access to Vorpal Blade, so something that we're going to want to do here. Nice, Junpei still has Torrent Shot. It is actually possible for Junpei to have forgotten Torrent Shot by this point, which is actually pretty disastrous. So for this turn, we want to go on the defensive. I want to have Siegfried for good physical resistance, specifically splash immunity on the protagonist, and we're going to throw up an attack mirror, to ideally bounce either a Primal Force back them, or just protect our party against Vorpal Blade. Needless to say, a power charged Vorpal Blade, pretty devastating to us.
Please help me.
Taking a nice sip of my coffee here. Would have been nice if Akihiko did that on the first turn. Oh well. There they go with their slash attack. Unfortunately, pretty resistant to that. Ooh, that's a disastrous one for Junpei. But that's not the end of the world. Okay, that's another mirror broken, but I'm not overly concerned about that. Akihiko will probably opt to heal up Junpei. Where this fight's going to become a little problematic is when our buffs start to expire. Let me see here. Do I dare take a risk and go into Skatak? I'm going to take the risk here. The life is no fun without the risk, but what I am going to do is I'm actually going to have Ken just pop off the heal and support for a bit, and we'll have him heal up the party a little bit here. He's more than likely going to use Dirahan on Junpei, but that's okay. Myriad Arrows has a minimum hits of 1 in this version of the game, so it is entirely possible for it to strike out horribly like that. That is actually very, very fortuitous that Akihiko did that. Here comes the Vorpal Blade, as what we were trying to save up for. It's actually very fortuitous that Akihiko elected to do the ah, man, my brain's going down here. The Matsuruta there to bring their attack into something that's a bit more manageable. I'm going to switch over to Siegfried again and set up another attack mirror. Remember, those attack mirrors are no good if we don't use them, so it's a good idea to keep them in the back pocket. We're also going to put Ken back on full assault here. He'll likely just whack them with Gungnir, which is exactly what I want him to do. Then we're going to have Junpei set up Marakukaja for us. Not really worth our time to set up any more buffs after that. We can get by just fine with Marakunda and any other buff that Akihiko is setting up for us. But keeping their damage in orbit is very, very important. The crit here is very, very good from Ken. That takes out one of them, so that's one less enemy for us to have to deal with, which I am all the more thankful for. If Akihiko can get Masakunda up here, which he's finally learned that, so now he has entered his true final form as the go-to debuff bot of Persona 3. Get those slash attacks bounced back at these guys. There we go. We're fine. We're fine. Their power charges are exhausted now, so we don't have to worry about those causing us any trouble. Just thinking here. I don't want my HP to be too low, but I think we should be fine. I'm going to go for another Myriad Arrows here, so let's just go in for that. Bring Skatak back out. Should I have Ken heal? I think it would be wise to have Ken go on heal support, though. So we'll have him do so. Obviously have Junpei go back on the full assault. If he's learned Vorpal Blade at this point, he won't have access to Torrent Shot anymore, which is pretty devastating for him in this fight, as you can imagine. Really is not great that he has no good damage dealing options. You could try to take these guys down a peg by breaking them, but one thing that I haven't mentioned about the break line of spells is kind of a sneaky and annoying thing that the game does. that it doesn't tell you about a lot of time is that some enemies will actually have resist skills in their skill slot. That mean that even if you break their immunities, they're still resistant to physical skills, which is, or rather the relevant skill you're trying to break them to. Not every boss, but quite a few, and it is, as you can imagine, pretty obnoxious. With that healing in place, I think we're fine here, so let's have Ken do that. We're gonna go for another myriad arrows here. If I can get a crit, that would be just wonderful. Yes, every crit we get makes this fight go so much faster. Vile Assault from Ken does pretty excellent damage in this fight, so that's a great way for him to help out. Akihiko, there are debuffs that you could put into effect. Oh boy. Yeah, sometimes Akihiko doesn't make the best decisions. That's a pretty big problem with heal and support spells being under the same umbrella. Okay. Just thinking about what I want to do here. I think I'll have Ken. Ooh, nice. Very lucky there. Actually, hold on. What does Skatak have? Does she have healing? No, she doesn't. But I think what I'll do here, actually, is I'm going to heal up my own team. I'm going to have Raphael. He has maybe a Rahan, right? Yes. I just want to actually make sure of that. I have had it happen before where I thought a persona had a particular skill, then I switched to it, and I am disappointed to find out it does not. Let's go for the maybe a Rahan here. There we go. Take care of the healing there so Ken doesn't do anything overly foolish, and also prevents Akihiko from doing things that are foolish and undesirable. Alright, all their debuffs are beginning to expire, causing a few problems for us, but we should be able to manage at this point. Junpei's defense buff is also going down, so that's a little unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Alright, what we're going to do here is we are going to... Actually, you know what? I'm going to buff up Ken's attack here. This guy's still got quite a lot of HP left. Oh, whoops, I forgot to put Junpei onto heal support. That might mean we have a little bit of nasty damage coming our way, but it shouldn't be anything we can't handle. Marakunda coming out from Akihiko should make this fight go just that much faster. If you have anything with Primal Force, it goes without saying that that is pretty helpful here. I think what I'll do here is just throw up another attack here. It's not really wasteful at this point. We really have no other reason but these kind of situations to use them. That allows me to keep up the offense here and let Akihiko just focus on continually debuffing the enemy. Ken's spear attacks are quite powerful at this point. Masakunda coming in. If we're lucky, this guy will use Vorpal Blade and just take himself out. Nah, not that lucky, but it wasn't something I was banking on anyway. Junpei's Torrent Shot might actually finish this guy off. Not quite, but hey, I always love to... Actually, you know what? No, let's let Ken get it. Go for it, kiddo. There we go. Not bad, not bad. Pretty slow, but we handled that well, I think. Unbelievable! We're almost done! Just one more to go. I know you guys can do it. Let's finish this. Naturally, I gotta show this off, but also, once again, I have a comment that I actually want to make here. I've got Abaddon at a good place. He only needs 4,000... sorry, that was disgusting. I apologize for that one. He only needs 4,000 experience, about 4,500 experience, to get his next level up. So what I'm gonna try and do is get him to just, like, under 1,000 experience to level up. It doesn't matter if I end up going over and he levels up anyway. I've already registered him in the compendium, but if I do get him closer, I'll re-register him again. And I want to level him up at this point to get at least 2 Tomes of the Voids. That's gonna be important for an upcoming boss fight, so that's what I'm gonna take care of. When we come back, I'll have those accessories lined up and ready for the situation where we want to have them. Second verse, same as the first. I'm just noticing that we've already encountered the standard enemy variant of this boss. I assumed it was a quick demotion, but no, we encountered the enemy variant before we encountered the boss variant. How amusing. Anyways, same setup as usual in Portable, just spirit bracers on the FEMC for insurance, as always.
No ordinary enemy. Don't let your guard down.
Anyways, we don't have Akihiko's debuffs to assist us in keeping the damage on these guys low, but I can also free up the FEMC's turn for using attack mirrors, or rather, always going with myriad arrows with the FEMC, because I don't need to have her specifically use the attack mirrors. Let's see, I'll just have Yukari and Aigis chip away at one enemy. Aigis, of course, has defense for days, so she's not super threatened by... Oh, nice! That's very, very fortunate right there. Let's see here. Yeah, Mitsuru really can't do too much to these guys, so I think what I'll do is I'll just have Mitsuru function as like an off healer here. It's gonna be very nice once we get around to Aigis' turn and we can wail on that downed Cyclops real quick. Deal some very nice damage there. Excellent stuff to see. Now, Vorpal Blade is a little scary, because if it crits, that can quickly spiral into immediate game over. I'm having really bad luck with Myriad Arrows, actually. Gonna need Yukari to get some multi-targeted healing going up here. I will say, I'm noticing that these guys hit quite a bit harder with the Vorpal Blades here. Let's see, that guy's getting up. And of course, because this is Persona 3 Portable, they don't lose any action economy off of that. I'm actually going to have Mitsuru here use a attack mirror to give us a little bit of protection. We've got plenty to throw up every single time a Vorpal Blade is thrown our way. While they do heavily resist slash attacks, having the Vorpal Blade bounce back at them still will deal some pretty nice damage. Okay, that guy's going for the power charge, which I am not overly threatened by. Let's go for the Myriad Arrows here. Maybe I should have given Yukari the drop near just to make sure her dioramas were a bit more potent. If I were to redo my setup, which, you know, very real possibility I'll have to do that because I could potentially lose here. Alright, that guy just bouncing it right back at himself. Vorpal Blade coming out. Huge bit of damage coming out to that guy. Going to have Mitsuru throw up the attack near here. Make sure we don't get annihilated by that power charge Vorpal Blade, if the enemy even uses one. Let's keep up the offense on this guy. Okay, he decided to waste his power charge. So our buffs are starting to expire here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to have the Femc guard here. Let's see, Yukari. I'm going to have Yukari do... let me look at my items, actually. Yeah, I can use these Megadalown gems to get a little bit of reliable damage out here. There we go. I'm guarding with the Femc just because I want to be absolutely sure she doesn't get double tapped with 2 physical attacks while our buffs are expired. I'm actually going to have Mitsuru also do the same thing there. These Megadalown gems in our inventory, no good if we don't use them. 200 guaranteed damage, very nice to see. Okay. Now, we're going to have Aigis get Marakukaja up on the party. And this is what's very nice about having Aigis as an anchor, which doesn't matter for this fight because we get random turn order. But in Fict story battles, having Aigis as the anchor, Marakukaja is going to expire on her first. And she's not terribly affected by that because she has the strongest defense anyway. So we're perfectly fine to just get that back up on our party once their turns roll back around. And the buff expires. I'm explaining this a little poorly, but basically, only Aigis ever has to suffer lower defense, and she has the highest defense naturally anyway, so it's not a big deal. Okay, definitely want to get another attack mirror up here. We're out of Megadalown gems anyway, so going back to more conventional offense. I think what I'll do is I'll actually have Aigis set up Matarukaja on us as well. Make Myriad Arrows a little bit stronger once it comes back around to the Femc's turn. It's nice to have all the buffs on her now, so if I wanted to, I could just have her be a standard buff bot, and again, kind of exploit that thing where she's the only one who really has to suffer the expiry of the buffs. At least when it comes to accuracy and evasion and defense. Ooh, nice. Very, very good. Let's us finish off in style here. Would have been nice if I got that sooner. And we'll finish off with shooting with Yukari. There we go. Not the best I've ever had that fight go, but went well enough. Unbelievable! We're almost done! Just one more to go. I know you guys can do it. Let's finish this. And, of course, we get our Rank 8 Judgment Social Link. Now, just to finish off the boss for this section of Adama in Reload, and then close out the expedition as well as the Monad passage there. Get a Soma for our efforts here in Portable, and FES, of course. Back onto reload, once again, of course, and actually we're going to be sticking with it for a while, because we've hit the end of our expedition time for Portable. We've got back-to-back boss fights, yet again. Powerful enemy up ahead? Please be careful. We got this, Fuka. You really don't need to worry. No teleporter means we're in back-to-back battles. Now, I'm actually going to show off a little trick you can do for these, which isn't super necessary, but let's get this fight defeated first. The enemy is strong. Please make sure you're ready before fighting. I'm always ready. I've used the joke so many times. I'm always ready, except for the time when I haven't. I'm a very repetitive person. Oh well. Isn't that part of my charm? No? Well, okay. I'll just have to deal with that. Anyways, power howling immediately. Really no reason not to. It's just a good idea to get it set up. One of the downsides of not bringing Mitsuru along is I don't have consistent access to multi-targeting debuffs or defense debuffs for the enemies. That Spirit Drain is a little rude, I gotta say. Anyways, going for God's Hand here. Ooh, are they weak or is that just a lucky crit? They are indeed weak. Oh, that's a GG for these guys. This is going to be going pretty badly for them. Akasha Art's coming out, dealing pretty significant damage. Especially if we get the double hit. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. Excellent work. I guess we'll go for a Primal Force on it. The charge has been exhausted, so it's not going to be as significant damage, but it's still damage. I should have, I guess, also heal herself with Dirahan. Nice little niche option that she has there. Let's see, this guy is resistant to all this stuff. Do I want to go for the Brave Blade just for the heck of it? Or the Scarlet Havoc? Yeah, we're kind of doing great here, so I kind of want to save that for the next fight. Let me see. He is not resistant to Pierce skills, so I actually can do some pretty significant damage with that. We've got Bishamonten here. As you can see, he's got his Pierce boost and Pierce Am. Lacking single target boost, but this should still deal some pretty significant damage. Nice. Gotta love it, gotta love it. I certainly love to see it. Ah, I could have gone for the Brave Blade there. Oh well. Let's go for Getsue. Allow Koromaru to benefit from his own little damage boost there. Not too significant because Getsue is a pretty outdated skill. He's going to deal some pretty heavy damage to Koromaru, unless he dodges, of course. That works out pretty well for him. Let's see, Zeodyne should work just fine. Sadly, we don't have any concentrate boost there, but that's okay. Let's go for the Primal Force to finish this guy off. We should get a crit on this. Yes. Not too bad, not too bad.
Good work out there.
Looks like I'm getting even stronger.
Good job, everyone. Just a bit more to the top. Please be careful. Oof! What's wrong, Koto-chan? Is there something you want to tell us? And he's going, arf, 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 and Fuka, arf, arf. I feel a strong sense of urgency from Koromaru. Seems like he's encouraging us. Rough indeed. We're counting on you too, buddy. Or I could woof at him, but you know. I always second guess myself on those choices. Koromaru appears even more motivated now. I can sense everyone's strength and resolve as we head into the final battle. Hey, we still got 4 more to go. So, we've actually got quite a few succession battles coming up here, and these are where the rank-ups have been reshuffled to for the most part. All set, Koto-chan? Then let's keep moving. Arf, arf. Now, you don't actually have to do these battles in succession. You can actually have Fuka use an escape route to fish you out of Tartarus and go back and save. That, of course, is a little bit cheesy, so I'm not going to do it, but it is an option if you're really struggling with these guys. Also, we're going to have a lot of locked chests that are coming up that I'm probably not going to be able to open. Got some goddess boots there, but we're not actually using anybody who can equip them. How disappointing. Regardless, let's continue on, and let's get ready to absolutely crush the next set of enemies that are coming up. By the way, after that fight, Akihiko got a Lek Amp. I don't really need Shock Amp anymore, so I decided to swap that out for it. So he's got a Lek Boost and a Lek Amp to really juice up his skills. Alright, on to the next one. Try to prepare as best you can. Huh? Isn't this... In 9 floors, we'll be coming up on a border floor. Could this be the last one? Let's find out ourselves. Yes, Fuka. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Let me just take a look at Akihiko's equipment real quick. He's still got the strike boosting stuff, right? Yeah, the strike bracers. Would be nice if I had a strike boosting set of knuckles for him. Alrighty, into this fight we go. The enemy is strong. Please make sure you're ready before fighting. Let's go.
I am fully determined.
I'll give it everything I've got, so let's work together.
There's one enemy.
And it's another really big dude. So we don't really have our full attacking options available to us this time, so we're just going to wing attacks at this guy and see what we can land. Get a little resistance to the physical skills, perhaps unsurprisingly. I'm actually going to go around to debilitate this guy, and I want to hit him with a full-powered electric onslaught. Okay, so God's Hand is on the outs anyway, so I guess a little threatened by that. But, ooh, that's unfortunate. We're actually going to want to get rid of that, because that'll dismantle my plans if I let it stay in place. There we go. See? No problem, no problem. Let me see here. I've actually got several debilitate users here now, but I think the best one to use would actually be Barong, since he can nullify those elect skills. Take that out as a problem for me. There we go. This guy should be pretty vulnerable now. I'm just going to have Koromaru use a multi-targeting healing item. Let me see here. I've got so many items now. We'll just go for this first aid kit medium. A little bit of HP to everyone to make sure we're in full condition. And in case this guy pulls out anything nasty, Electric Onslaught is going to do some incredible damage now. Let's take a look at it. Boom. If we can get Concentrate onto him from Fuka, that'll be so much the better. Ooh, that is unfortunate. And he Heat Risered off his Debilitate debuff. How rude, how rude. Let's scan this guy and see if Aegis can't do anything to this guy. She cannot, so what we're going to do instead is we're just going to have her keep our buffs refreshed. May as well make sure they're going strong. Let's see, this guy is going to be immune to Elect, right? Oh, surprisingly, no, he is not. Let me see here. I think the smart thing to do would just be to go for the strongest attacking option that we have, which, as always, is Scarlet Havoc. So we're going to delete this guy with this, hopefully. If we're lucky, we might get a crit on this, but I don't bank on that happening. Even at its highest, it's still pretty close to a coin flip, and yeah, we didn't really get it there. But a Maragi Dyne from Koromaru should tap this guy in range for Akihiko to finish him off with a fully boosted Zeodyne. So let's just nail him with this. And there we go. Surprisingly not that much stronger than Koromaru's Maragi Dyne. Some of these guys are defensively pretty potent. Look at all these level ups coming through, it's crazy. Tartarus bosses are just such big EXP pinatas in this version. No problem now. The end is just about in sight. You fought your fair share of battles at this point. Anytime you're in a slump, just remember all the blood and sweat you put into this. I haven't sweat that much. That's deep, Akika. Let's cheer him up. Let's make him feel like he said something profound. Well, I hope it keeps you motivated. Anyway, bottom line is, I don't want to have any regrets. I'll do my job to the best of my ability, so you keep it up too, leader. Thank you, Akihiko. I can sense everyone's strength and resolve as we head into the final battle. We're seeing so much strength and resolve right now. In fact, it's materializing into social link rank-ups, and I kind of appreciate it. Alright, on to the next one. Let's keep this energy going. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Alrighty, we'll do an auto-recover there, and obviously, we're just gonna keep going.
It's a lot easier to spot the shadows.
Get our chest here, and this might very well be the last Twilight Fragment chest I'm able to open tonight. Obviously, we're gonna get more fragments. Hey, an Excalibur. We'll take a look at that, actually, see what it does. Again, I want to see what it does, game. Stop doing that to me. Let's see. Well, yeah, that's definitely a pretty significant upgrade. I don't really care about having Counter-Strike, so we'll take that. Why not? Excalibur, here we go. And we're just going to charge on ahead. No care to the potential that we might die, which has backfired on me before, but I'm feeling comfortable or confident that it won't happen this time. Let's find that rare form and show him what for. I guess we can take out this rando on the way. Oh hey, and it is a new enemy. Though as you've noticed, the enemies are already intimidated by us at this point. The level curve does not really work out that well for the enemies in this game. We just come in and they are already completely outclassed. May as well look at these guys and see their level in HP. Yeah, level 69 and 1002 HP. Not anything that we really can't handle. Let's just go for an Akasha Arts here. Again, always go for the thing with the better crit rate in these random encounters. Surprisingly, did not finish it there, but we can just God Hands it and deal with it that way. Akihiko is in his zenith now, and if we can get if we can get the combo of Strike Amp and Strike Boost onto him, it'll be really good. All right, let's hit this guy.
That was a good workout.
Indeed, Akihiko, indeed. Let's continue on. Grab another gem here. Really hoping to get a bunch of diamonds as we go. I've gotten quite a few already. It'll be nice to have a good supply of gems in order to fuse up more equipment once we get back to the antique store. So many things are available for us. I could use my Twilight Fragment on that chest, but I'd rather not waste it in case I can open something else. Another new enemy here, and these are more dice. I'm going to assume these guys are vulnerable to elect, so we'll just go around to Akihiko and see if that is the case. Hey! You know, sometimes genre savviness works out for you in this game. We'll just take these guys out with a quick all-out attack. As you can see, our SP is getting kind of low, but we still have so many SP restoratives banked up at this point, so I'm not really that concerned about it. Let's see. Hey, free Abaddon, why not? Get him into the compendium if nothing else. And Windam, heck yeah. We'll have to see if I got any junk Personae to release in here, and I don't really need Chitin Daisheng, so we'll get rid of him. Yeah, I mostly just picked him up for compendium filling. I actually tossed him out for a set that I already had in the compendium, so it wasn't really worth keeping him around.
Excellent teamwork. As always, of course.
What is Abaddon capable of in this version of the game? He's just a pure physical wall in FES and Portable. Looks like he's ailment-focused here. Granted, we just got him out of shuffle time, so he's not really good at anything in this version right now. Oh, and we got new enemies here. Kind of figures when I screw up, and I'm actually going to take the Oracle here, see what we get. Could use some SP restoration right now, but she's probably just going to charge up the party. Yeah, I figured that was what it was going to be. Oh, well, let's go for a quick Getsue on the Jotun of Evil. And are they weak to physical in this version as well? Yes, they are. Okay, works out for me. Let's pass it over to the protagonist, and let's just have Siegfried pop off real quick. Quick Death Blade from Siegfried always does, or Death Bound, rather, does some good. Jesus! Oh, man. More than I was expecting there. Granted, those guys are defensively very frail to make. They're very much paper tigers, so they look scarier than they are when it comes to their HP, but still, I like seeing big numbers like that. You definitely don't see numbers like that too often in Persona 3 FES and Portable. There will be one situation where we end up seeing numbers like that, though. Hey, more new enemies here. We're getting good luck with this. Minotaur 1? Let me see here. I was hoping they'd be weak to fire like they are in FES and Portable. Not quite that lucky, though. We'll just go for a Mazio Dying from Akihiko here. Not necessarily because I'm hoping for a weakness hit, it's just the most effective multi-targeting option that he has. I was briefly considering him just go full single-target specialist, but nah, there's enough value in having him rocking that. Let's see here. We're going to switch over to Norn, because I don't really want my stuff countered back at me. There we go. Going for a Heat Riser here. Let's take a look at what this guy's fully capable of. Hey, that works out just fine for Koromaru. And even though he got the Heat Riser up, he didn't actually gain any additional evasion there, since Koromaru applies the Auto Masukunda buff to the entire enemies. It is pretty interesting that way. It's, it's a niche ability, but it's not useless. Comes in handy in a number of cases.
Please keep relying on me.
Oh, I've been counting on you the entire game. I guess we're more than willing to let you carry the team on your back. She's doing pretty good at it. Once we get her Pierce Amp onto her, that'll work out amazingly for her.
I'd like that too. Well, definitely.
I was kind of disappointed that I interrupted their little discussion there, but I kind of had no choice. So, let's get these... Oh, hey, that works out. This is another thing that Siegfried is just going to absolutely decimate for us. Nice, so yeah, Fierce Cyclops is not that threatening. Oh, whoops, that was not the move I wanted to use. I meant to click Deathbound. Oh well. That happens sometimes, Let's see if Akihiko can't score a crit here for us. With his apt pupil, he has pretty good odds when hitting into distress. Especially if you have Mitsuru on the team and Ailment Surge is just making it so consistent that you hit those critical hits. I wish Mitsuru's ailment skills were a bit more consistent in general, but hey, can't have everything. Let's see. Hey, Pierce Amp, very nice. I'm getting a lot of the amp cards here. Not all of them, but a good amount that'll give me a bit more flexibility with customizing Personae later. I'm definitely going to be making a separate file after I'm done with the exploration here, so I have a more dedicated thing for, or a more dedicated file for grinding and preparing for the ultimate bonus boss. In fact, I'll probably be sitting on that file for a while, and then I'll come back to it and get my characters up to level 99 with it. Got another monad door in the distance. Do I even want to bother with it? Yeah, I'll bother with it.
Excellent teamwork. As always, of course.
Indeed, indeed. I gotta say, it's nice that now that we have access to the Queen cards for the coin, the entire game, coin cards in Persona 3 Reload have been giving relatively terrible money compared to just selling treasure. But now those Queen cards actually give about 49k in terms of money. Pretty nice.
Excellent teamwork. As always, of course.
Heck yeah, I guess heck yeah. Let's grab this chest over here. 3 diamonds, nice. Well, before I forget about it, I probably should top off Akihiko and Koromaru's SP. Do not want to leave that neglected. And we've got all these soul spinaches for this purpose. Can you feed spinach to dogs? It seems like it would be bad for them. Well, that's outside the scope of this LP, and that's research that you can do on your own time.
What should we do?
I think we should go in. We're gonna have so much weapon fusion material by the time we're done with this trip. It's incredible. Don't want to bother getting any of the treasure on this floor? Yeah, we'll go for it. Plus, there may potentially be some new enemies I still have yet to encounter. You never know, you never know.
Victory is ours. Now, let's keep going.
Nothing new there, I'm afraid, but hey, another weapon fusion material. We've actually been getting the black and white models now, which are required to fuse the best stuff in the game. So we might be able to see some pretty interesting equipment being created once we get out of here. Or I could just use all my gold quartzes on, you know, stuff that gives, like, Pierce Amp and, Strike Amp. Sorry, my brain just shut down there. I'm sensing a very powerful presence on the next floor, and I'm picking up equal level threats from multiple floors after it. We're in for 2 fights in a row. No, maybe more! This is our longest test so far. You want to be armed to the teeth for this one. And, yes, we will. But first, let's get to the final boss in FES and Portable. Alright, time for the final Guardian of Tartarus. It's hitting me all at once, like just the finality of it all. Anyways, for our setup this time, just one major change that I made. Well, okay, technically 2. One of them's major, one's more minor. First off, I've got a Tome of the Void. I've been able to get 2 of these from Abaddon. One of them is also on Akihiko. This would technically represent a pretty significant attack drop for him, because he doesn't have innate Elect Amp yet, and still stacking Elect Boost via Elect Bracers is generally more effective for him, but that doesn't matter too much in this upcoming fight. The other notable thing I have is Seth here. This guy is here for one reason. He's the highest level thing I could create that has Fire Break, and I just fused Abaddon into Norn to create this guy, just to get him ready. With my social link with Nozomi, he got to the level 69, he starts at level 66, got to level 69 right away to pick up Fire Break, so that's going to come in handy for this fight. There's a very particular reason that I want Tome of the Void on Akihiko and the protagonist specifically, and it could be useful for Junpei and Ken, but it can also potentially be beneficial for them to not have it. We'll get into that when we get into that. Let's get this fight started.
The Hanged Man. That's this Guardian's Arcana.
Huh, just like the final full moon shadow. Anyways, this guy is really infamous, the Jotun of Grief. This guy drains everything except pierce damage. Need I remind you that your pierce users are, your your dedicated Pierce users in this game are the weakest physical attackers in the game. Junpei could potentially have leveled out his only Pierce skill, so that's an annoying thing, and it's a problem in Portable as well, because that game still uses the automatic overwrite system for upgraded skills, so Junpei could potentially have no Pierce skills, and Pierce skills are just kind of undercooked in this game. They tend to just be flatly weaker in FES and Portable. You could potentially have something with Primal Force or Vile Assault, but it's not exactly a priority for the protagonist, and in Portable it's an even bigger problem because the protagonist cannot switch out of a slash-type weapon, so really annoying boss. However, it does not have resistance underneath those drains, so this is one of the few times where you can use an elemental break to deal with this boss. What I want to do is have Akihiko on heal and support, and Ken and Junpei will be on full assault. I did get the scan going, right? Just better make sure. We're going to fire break it. I'm going to pop off against it with Cert, and then I'm going to rely on Ken and Junpei to deal additional damage to it. Akihiko is just going to be here for debuff botting, probably the occasional Diarahan too. Now this guy also has access to Infuriate, to enrage your entire party. And that's why I don't have Tome of the Voids on Junpei and Ken, because the way this fight works, it can actually be beneficial for them to be enraged. In FES and Portable, the enraged status, in addition to putting you in a berserk state that causes you to take more damage, it doubles the power of your physical attacks and causes you to act twice. This actually makes it pretty bad to use in your own hands, but sometimes you can actually swing it to your own benefit. Where is Cert? There he is. Anyways, with the fire break in effect, we're able to just pop off with Ragnaroks on this guy, deal really big damage, and get through him a lot faster than having to have Ken just whack him with his spear every single turn. Akihiko getting that Matarunda in will also be incredibly beneficial for us, and of course, Junpei will just enjoy the ability to hack away at this guy with Leviathan. Honestly, between him and Ken, I'll probably stick to having them do the damage once our buffs start to expire, because I'll be able to easily keep on top of the team's healing needs here. Infuriate is not a guaranteed thing that we're going to have to deal with. It is entirely possible he's not going to use it, and that is just a little bit of a... there comes the stagnant air, so he's probably priming himself to use that. But it's, again, not a really big deal. The big problem could come in if he gets to act when Fire Break expires, which that's going to be coming up this turn. So I'm actually going to err on the side of caution here, and have Junpei go into heal and support so that he doesn't potentially screw us over. I'm also going to switch over to, let me see here. Just want to make sure Raphael is not vulnerable to Pierce. I didn't think he was, but it's always a good idea to double check that kind of thing before you just switch off of it blithely. I'm going to Meidia Rahan the party here. Once it comes back around to Junpei's turn, he may cast Ma Rakukaja on everyone. I think Akihiko will be denied that buff just to... Oh, no, wait, he'll get it. It's Ken who's going to be denied it, which isn't a big deal, but that's fine. So what's he going to do here? Yep, there goes the Fire Affinity. Oh, he's going for Make It Alone instead. That's fine, that's fine. That is within parameters. Alrighty, Junpei, get that Ma Rakukaja going on, everyone, and we should be fine to go. Not the thing. I'm just wondering if I should have Ken do a bit of healing for everyone, because I want to get the Fire Break back up to make sure that Junpei is going to be able to keep up on damage here. Ken will still get his attack off. There we go, nice little Pierce attack. Let's have Junpei go back to full assault here. We are going to set up our Fire Break once again, so I'll want to switch over to Seth for this. Kind of annoying that he isn't actually going for the Infuriate right now. I actually would have appreciated it if he did that. But Fire Break in place, and then some additional follow-up swings from Leviathan. We should be good to go. Ken is probably going to have to take a slightly heavier hit here. Yeah, but he should be in good standing to survive it. Oh, Akihiko actually died. I wasn't expecting that. Well, that's unfortunate. Okay. That is not a big deal, though. We can manage around that. What we're going to do is have Ken go over to heal and support, and we are going to switch back to Raphael, get the Meidia Rahan up. I am a little bit underleveled for this fight. I'm on a bit of a time crunch when I'm recording this segment today, so I had to skip through some floors. I would probably be like 2 to 3 levels higher if I was playing this my own way casually. Okay, ailment susceptibility is reverted, that is fine. Did I set Ken to heal and support like I was supposed to? I don't think I did. Not that it really matters a huge deal. I did, but unfortunately, he got whacked too hard. He's not going to help out Akihiko there. While the fire is still in effect, the fire break, let's switch over to Cert. We're just going to have to deny Akihiko the glory of participating in the victory of this fight. But hey, that's how it goes sometimes. It be like that sometimes. It be like that. There we go. Not the cleanest I've ever had that fight go. I was actually kind of surprised by Akihiko getting taken out there, but it happens sometimes. Get a nice bit of experience and a fine statuette. And a free revival from Ken. All traces of the Guardian have vanished. We did it! That was the last one! We're almost to the top. It was such a long way, but now we're almost there. Together, we can see this through to the end. And of course, let's get over into the portable fight now. We got a new enemy over here in Portable, which I'm going to stick this wherever I can find space. Harmony Giants. They are level 77 enemies with 390 HP. Nullify strike skills, repel pierce skills, and elect skills are, or elect and wind, and are weak to ice. So hey, I created your Lunger earlier, so he's a good counter to this. Also, if you have a Skatak, she can also work for this here. I don't really want to switch to your Lunger if I can avoid it, because he does not have access to Cool Breeze like the rest of my dedicated attackers do, so I'm going to be losing SP if I switch to him at all. Not desirable, but something that we have to suffer every now and again, because Mitsuru's in the same boat where she's not passively recharging SP every single battle, so... Another new enemy we got here is Minotaur 1. He is level 74 with 1230 HP, strong against physicals, darkness, he's weak to fire and darkness, and repels light. Of course, we have the ultimate in fire casting, so this guy does not really stand much a chance of us, as is commonly a problem for these singular strong enemies. Really does not justify the amount of time to fight him, unless he happens to drop a gem that you might be looking for, and even then, it's kind of just like something you come back for when you need to farm specifically, and even then, there's so much luck involved with that. Regardless, hey, beat him, get not terrible experience at least, and a diamond. Alright, time for this guy in Portable as well. We've got the more ideal team for it. The main changes I've got, of course, ooh, I almost forgot to equip Sibylle. That would have been unfortunate, though not necessarily a big a deal, is that I've got the Tome of the Void on the FEMC, like the MC, but also on Mitsuru. Again, these are the only characters I care about if they get berserked and start winging physical attacks at the boss, so I just want to shut that down immediately. It's arguably a good thing if Yukari and Aigis get hit by that. Unfortunately, with the Tome of the Void, Mitsuru is going to be operating at something of a pretty significant damage loss, but hey, at least with Ice Break, she's going to be able to do damage at all. Not a option that every party member in the game has, so that's something, that's something.
Everyone seems tired.
Fuka, we're going into the fight.
The Hanged Man. That's this Guardian's Arcana.
Alright, like before, I've got Seth here so I can set up the fire break, then pop off a little bit with, Cert. And I'm also going to have Mitsuru set up her Ice Break so she can deal damage with Pufudine. Again, she's going to be, here, see, this is exactly what I was talking about. We don't have to worry about that on Mitsuru and the FEMC, but Yukari and I get to get hit by that, and this guy is going to, unfortunately, regret his actions and deeds here. This is, not working out very well for him. Let's get that Ice Break set up with Mitsuru, and then we can start contributing damage with the FEMC and her. Now, Aigis and Yukari, despite the fact... No, I don't want to. It's not gonna... That's actually gonna be a bad thing. They are going to have considerably lower defense to contend with because of this, but it's really not something I'm overly concerned about. If they get taken out, they get taken out. And honestly, if he spends his time trying to infuriate people who are immune to it, so much the better. Oh yeah, you're doing work, Yukari. And people think Yukari is a bad physical attacker. Well, she is, but when the stars line up, jeez, her attacks aren't actually that much weaker than Aigis's. Aigis genuinely has really bad strength for a physical attacker in the older Persona games. It's kinda sad, honestly. Regardless, this guy has given me just about the ideal pattern thus far. Primal Force on Aegis. Okay, never mind. I was going to say, that could have potentially been a problem there. Sadly, the Enraged status has gone away, so not going to be able to enjoy that anymore. Boy, I wonder if there's any other fights where we can abuse Rage to deal big damage to the boss. And with that guy defeated, all traces of the Guardian have vanished. We did it! That was the last one! We're almost to the top. It was such a long way, but now we're almost there. Together, we can see this through to the end. With that, not the max rank, but rank 9 for the Judgment Social Link. Our ability to create, or our power to create personas of the Judgment Arcana has increased. We've come so far with it already. We're just about ready to max it out. Let's see what battles await us in Persona 3 Reload now. You know, I just realized after I cut there that for FES and Portable I said final boss. I meant final boss of Adama, not the final boss in general. It would be an interesting challenge for a final boss, but he was not the final boss at all. Please be careful if you plan on taking it on. You know, Fuka, you need to get new material here. Unlike me, I've never said the same thing over and over again. Anyways, Fuka, I've been born prepared for this. You don't have to advise me. I'm always prepared. Let's go.
Let's do this.
This'll be fun. Come on, let's move. Akihiko, you have strange ideas of what constitutes fun. Regardless, this is just a singular enemy, so as always, we're just waiting for the MC's slow ass to go so we can debilitate it. That is always going to annoy me, especially, you know, just compared to every other version of the game. The protagonist almost always goes first. Let's see, make it allowed? Not anything I'm too threatened by, honestly. Particularly since I've got the defense boost up. You know, I could also just dodge it altogether. It's chanting his death spell, but I'm not too worried about that. Let me see here. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for the Primal Force here. I considered doing some healing, but if I weaken this guy enough, we shouldn't really need to worry about that at all. So obviously, let's get the Debilitate going. I just want to be on whoever has the best endurance, which would be Futsunushi. I kind of figured that. Futsunushi is good to have because he also has all the buffs in case I want to get the protagonist in on getting the party back up to snuff here. Let me see. I'm actually going to have Koromaru use a healing item on the party here, so let's get down here and use our Akike Special. Pretty useful option for Koromaru. I've also got Koromaru hooked up with the Amriti necklace, so he is immune to ailments. It helps because he's going to be going in first in the turn order most of the time, so it'll allow him to, if the boss goes before him, he'll be able to cure everybody before we have any problems with that. Let's go with the God's Hand here, see if we get lucky with the crit. No luck on the crit, but that is a-okay. Here comes a Mamudon, so we're probably about to see a bunch of homunculi get consumed. Ooh, that was unfortunate. That's fine, though. That's fine, though. That is manageable. Akihiko survived that because he had Endure at his disposal. I gave him a piece of equipment that has Endure on it. I think what we'll do here is we'll just go all in on finishing it off with attacks. I think I can just defeat it with Siegfried at this point. Not even using... Siegfried is also vulnerable to Mamudon. Not even using Scarlet Havoc, just taking it out with Brave Blade. Okay, maybe not. I was a little optimistic there. But 8 gets away from Koromaru will seal the deal for us. There we go. Not bad.
What about desert? No shadows detected.
Yet another cascade of level ups coming out there. Hey, can you hear me? You're doing great. You're almost there. So, I know this goes without saying, but let's make sure we win this, okay? It's just, we have so many great memories together, and we should keep making more, too. Oh, sorry. I'm being weird saying all this stuff out of nowhere, huh? It's not weird at all. I actually like it a lot. Or you're like this a lot. Oh, really? Well, I guess I'm this way more when I'm with you. I misread that bottom dialogue choice. Anyway, I won't give up until the very end. Actually, no, I won't let there be an end. So, here's to making more memories, leader. I can sense everyone's strength and resolve as we head into the final battle. That resolve is enough to net us rank 8. Looking good, looking good. Alright, I'll let you get back to it. You're almost there. You got this! Of course, of course. Let's, of course, do an auto-recover there as well. Of course is becoming my new, repeated word.
Just thinking about it makes me nervous. I feel the same way, but we'll be able to pull through. I'm sure we can.
I like your attitude, ladies. Let's get a magic incense. Very nice. I might just, why don't we give that to Akihiko? There is actually value to giving that to Aigis, because it will power up her theurgy, but Akihiko can make more consistent use of it outside of his theurgy, so it just makes sense to give it to him. There we go. Pretty potent magic stat on Akihiko at this point also. Let's see, for this next one, we've got two Cyclopses. Into the next battle, round 2 coming up. Expect this one to be just as tough as the last. You can do it, though. I know you can. Well, actually, the last one wasn't that tough. But we'll take him seriously, regardless. Once again, we have to deal with the protagonist being really slow, but that's just a common problem. Especially when you're dealing with the fact that your auto team buffs are probably going to be something on something that's just rapidly getting out-leveled by the rest of your team. We've got Hedonistic Sinners here. I'm thinking about how I want to approach this. You know what? Let's go for a Revolution. It's a nice little option, and Akihiko might be able to do something cool with it. I am actually planning on keeping Revolution into Koromaru's skill list. Alright, we've got ailments to deal with, so that's going to be interesting. Fortunately, I guess, this might have already paid off for us. Yes, indeed. Now we're going to pass it over to the protag, because obviously Siegfried can do some good work with criticals as well. Go for the Deathbound here. Ah, unfortunate. Luckily, Siegfried does not get high on his own supply. Now this looks scary, but one value of having Aigis, she has insta-heal, so ailments are actually of no threat to her. She just immediately shrugs them off. Very, very nice thing about using Aigis. Don't have to worry about her getting taken down by that at all. Fortunately, I have a variety of options when it comes to critting enemies down with physical skills. We also have the God's Hand at our disposal. There we go. Let's get a scan on these guys and see what we're dealing with. Yeah, they're not really vulnerable to anything. In fact, quite the opposite. Let's see here. We're gonna have Koromaru just throw items at people, so let's use up that antibiotic gel on the protag. It'll be a good way to blunt the healing or blunt the damage that we're gonna be taking from these guys. We will have to occasionally deal with Akihiko possibly getting nailed with an ailment. Good dodge from Aigis there. Always fortunate when that happens. Let's go for the God Hands yet again. Hey, nice! Working out for Akihiko. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Let's see, these guys repel Pierce as well, so for Aigis, we're going to want to go with Akasha Arts. We'll shift on over to her and do the Akasha Arts. I have given Aigis a accessory that gives her shift boost, so she gets a little bit more damage there. Had pretty bad luck on that one, though. Another Maziodyne coming out. And a dodge for Aigis. Beautiful stuff, beautiful stuff. Kind of funny that Koromaru is the one getting hit there, because he has way more evasion than Aigis. Let's see here. We're going to go for another Akasha Arts. If we're lucky, we'll get a crit. We have double the chance of getting a crit by using Akasha Arts. Wonderful stuff, wonderful stuff. Let's pass over to the protagonist, who probably has a better crit rate than Akihiko on the whole, so we'll have him fish for it. Nice! That is exactly what I was hoping for. Let me see, you know what? Let's throw it on back to Akihiko. Get this chain continued. Have him go for the God's Hand now. Probably would have been better to just have the protagonist keep up the offense there, but it was fun to give Akihiko some floor time. Hey! Woohoo! You know what? Let's go for it. Screw it, we ball. Yes, got him! Granted, that wasn't as perilous a situation as it looks. The protagonist has Enduring Soul on his equipment now, and Akihiko has access to Endure from his armor, so they were all fine there regardless of what the boss did. And Koromaru gets his most important skill here now, Debilitate. Since Akihiko already has Masuku Kaja, we're going to slide Debilitate in Koromaru's skill list in place of it. Now we have 2 Debilitators, and Koromaru actually goes first, so, you know, that works out pretty nicely.
Leader.
Good job, everyone. Now there's only one more left. We're very close. To be honest, I was a little worried. I thought my desire for the ones close to me to avoid pain may result in my inability to fight. However, the opposite seems to be the case. I feel a stronger motivation to fight than before. That's called courage, Aigis. Ooh, so this is courage. I suppose everyone has felt this all the time. I will embrace this new feeling and continue to fight alongside everyone. I can sense everyone's strength and resolve as we head into the final battle. And indeed, rank 9 of the Judgment Social Link has been acquired. We're almost at the cap for this one. Now then, let's go. Our opponent is waiting for us. Alrighty, and obviously we'll want to make an auto-recover there. We've got all our Theurgies on deck to use as an option in the upcoming battle. Let's check this chest out here and get a free beat chain. Very nice. Always appreciate having those. Just having flexibility by healing the party through items, even though we have plenty of powerful multi-targeting healing at this point.
Powerful enemy spotted. Please be careful.
I'm always careful, Fuka. Like I said, it's gonna be... I just repeated myself again. Sorry, I just completely lost track of what you were saying there, Fuka. My bad, my bad. The enemy is strong. Please make sure you're ready before fighting. You know the script at this point, everybody. I don't need to complete it for you.
Let's do this.
This'll be fun. Come on, let's move.
My Theurgy. I think I can use it now.
That was an interesting little camera effect there. Anyways, we may as well pop off immediately with Oracle and see what we can do against this guy. And that was probably the most useless thing you could have done in that situation, Fuka, but it's okay, you tried. Anyways, like I said, we can now start with Debilitate, which is very nice. I appreciate having that as an option. Let me see here. I honestly forget if this guy... Yeah, I think he uses the same gimmick, honestly. Once again, I'm not actually concerned about that. If Aegis or Koromaru goes after this guy, we're able to completely shut down these ailments now. It's pretty nice. We essentially have 2 ailment-immune characters at our disposal here. We will use the refresh pack here. And yeah, nothing to it, nothing to it. So, you know what, let me see here. Just in case I'm hitting into a reflect there. I'm actually going to have the protagonist card. Let's figure out what this guy's gimmick is before I commit to anything. Alright, and okay, it's not quite the same thing. Slash attacks work on him. So, yeah, we have plenty of options at our disposal. Why don't we go for a nice power howling? We're just going to uncork our best stuff against this guy. Mostly our pierce skills, but we have other options at our disposal as well. Unfortunately, Akihiko cannot use God's Hand on this guy, but Zeodyne's from... Oh, whoops, he can't use Zeodyne either. Akihiko's completely walled out. Oh, well, these things happen. Sometimes the poor guy, you know, he just doesn't get what he's hoping for. Okay, this guy does not exactly have great options at his disposal either, so we should have this on lock, honestly. Just, whack him down with that, and we'll have the protagonist do much the same. Switch over to Bishamonten, and get another Primal Force going. This is nice, because I'll be able to save my Theurgies for the upcoming Monad passage. Let's see here, Maragidyne should work just fine on this guy. We'll want to make sure to re-up our buffs and debuffs as our turns go back around. Let's see here. Yeah, everything, oh right, Fuka doubled them at the start of the fight, so I don't actually have to worry about that for a while. Let's, go for... I don't really have any other options, so, just for the interest of Akihiko not sitting around doing nothing, let's do the Electric Onslaught. His Theurgy recharges really, really fast, because we're always gonna have buffs up now, so why not just go for it? Finish him off. Remember that, Electric Onslaught is a magic skill, so it only, gets a double damage from a concentrate buff. The Gatekeeper signal just went down. We did it! That was the last one! It's about time, but the real battle is beginning soon. Yes, you're right. We're almost at our goal. But now that the Gatekeepers are out of the way, our path is clear. I sense an area with no outer wall, a little higher up. That's probably the place Ryoji-kun was talking about. Let's go, all of us, together. I can sense everyone's strength and resolve as we head into the final battle. And funnily enough, we're actually going to see the Judgment Social Link reach its max rank in Reload first.
I am thou. Thou art I. The bond thou hast nurtured hath finally matured. The innermost power of the Judgment Arcana hath been set free. We now bestow upon thee the ultimate form of the judgment within thyself.
And with that, rank 10 Judgment, we unlock the ultimate persona of the Judgment social link, Messiah. This guy is going to be very important later. We'll be seeing him. Don't worry. Please be careful out there, and good luck. With all that taken care of, we've got a couple of things of note here. Obviously, we've got our Monad passage. It's one of those doors again. Since the layout of this floor doesn't change, this door likely won't disappear. So, we can explore at any time. We'll leave it up to you, leader. I appreciate given the choice there. Anyway, let's pop this door over here just so I have access to the stairs. And let's take a look at the chest over here. Unfortunately, I did not find any Twilight fragments along the way, but I might be able to farm out some to get them at the start of a later video, so that's not a big deal. We've got the Monad passage, but why don't we wrap up in FES and Portable first before taking that on. You're on the 254th floor in FES now. I sense an area with no outer wall. That's probably what Ryoji-kun was talking about. The way to the promised place. That's where we're supposed to go on January 31st. We've made it this far. I have faith in you. Considering how strong you are, I know you can succeed. Let's win this battle. A mysterious voice rings in your head. For one final time, in FES we're getting our Judgment social link max out. The bond thou hast nurtured have finally matured. The innermost power of the Judgment Arcana hath been set free. Bestow upon thee the ability to create Messiah, the ultimate form of the Judgment Arcana, a persona that was considerably buffed for FES, and was buffed even further in Portable, and is very worth your time to create for later, but not something where you're going to use within the context of the story. Regardless, the Judgment social link is maxed out in FES. I'm using this opportunity here also to go over my plans for FES for right now. I'm going to have to be taking more trips to Tartarus within the save files for the LP for FES, because obviously I'm not going to be able to get all my grinding done just due to the fatigue system at once, but I should only need one more trip after this one to get that finished. I'll also obviously on my own time want to get a lot of money gathered. I'll also be getting in the context of when I'm recording this, getting everything together for all the quests I will have completed in between when this video is uploaded and when I covered stuff or the day-to-day in the previous videos. It's really hard to word that, you know. I'm talking about stuff that I haven't done yet, but in the context of the order of I'm going to be uploading these videos, I have done it. Ugh, it's throwing me for a loop. Let's wrap up in Portable real quick. You're on the 254th floor now, in Persona 3 Portable. I sense an area with no outer wall. Once again, Fuka lets us know that we made it this far, she has faith in us, and we are going to win. And we will. And we will. With that, the Judgment social link is maxed out in Portable. Just so good to see. Once again, Messiah, very good persona in this game. Actually, even better in Portable due to a pretty fascinating buff that he got. It'll be a little bit before we can create him, but we will see him before we're done with the journey. Rest assured, rest assured. We'll have that online. Now create Messiah, the Savior. Very nice. Now, in Persona 3 Portable, I don't have to contend with fatigue, so I can get all my grinding done tonight, which is just fantastic. So what I'm going to do in Persona 3 Portable is I'm going to get the team prepared for the Desert of Doors. Like I said, 80 is the level I'm shooting for the FEMC, at least. That'll let me get the most done with the rest of my party members. Wherever everyone else ends off is where they end off. But I'm also going to bring in Junpei and Akihiko for a little bit. Try and get them up to at least level 60 or so, maybe level 65. It kind of depends. The experience scaling, you know, that can vary. Luckily, I do have some spare equipment for these strapping young gents, so we're able to get them at a reasonable level of power. Oh man, this stuff is so out of date. You know, I've got these robes here, all this equipment that I'm not using. May as well give it off to these guys. Maybe hook them up with a Giga Power Band or something later. But yeah, that's what I'm going to work on with them. And it'll be another video before we see the Desert of Doors in Persona 3 Portable, but that'll be its own thing. It's definitely a hefty enough area that it justifies its own part, so look forward to that. Let's just give our sign-off in reload now. Final Monad passage time. Can you believe it? We're ready to go for this one. The Judgment Tarot is reacting. This Monad passage has actually something special about it beyond being the final one, but we'll get to that in a little bit. It looks like the door has been unlocked. I can sense strong shadows just beyond it. Please be careful. Heading into the final Monad passage, where we steel ourselves for a tough encounter. First, starting out, the game isn't looking too threatening here. We should be fine, we should be fine. We just got a door here. Not the toughest fight challenge I've ever been thrown my way. Continuing on to the next one, though. Hey, thank you for making it here. Let's get to this tank boss. It's a very powerful enemy.
Please, be careful.
Spuka, please, let me read the lines. I'm ready. Koromaru is not a fan of tanks.
Another day on the
Preparing
job.
the analysis.
Alright, the hallowed turret here. As always, we can open up with Debilitate. It is so satisfying to be able to do that. I love it. It's just a great feeling. Coming out is the Myriad Arrows. And, yeah, I don't think that exactly got what the guy was hoping for. Looks like he's loaded 2 bullets there, so we'd better be prepared for whatever he's about to throw our way. We should be able to beat this guy without throwing any theurgies at him, though it remains to be seen if Aegis has any option she can work here. Actually, yes, she does. Alright, that works out just fine. Let me see here. I think what I'll do is I'll stick to Norn for damaging this guy to start. We'll go with the powerful Phanta Rays that we have at our disposal. Should deal some pretty excellent damage, all things considered. Alright. And let's get the scan here. Yeah, it's not weak to anything. Wasn't expecting it to be, but it is good to know ahead of time that we can hit it with a God's Hand. Let's get everybody healed up just a little bit. Use this Konosubi water. May as well use the most potent healing items I have at my disposal, since Koromaru doesn't really have as many other options. He's not really a dedicated healer. Come on, Koromaru, dodge. Ah, unfortunate. But he didn't really get anything against Akihiko. He's loaded 3 bullets, so it looks like he's going to be rotating through more and more attacking options as the battle goes on. Okay, got that. Let's have Aegis go for a Primal Force here. And once again, we can just nail it with Phanta Ray for some pretty significant damage, though I want to be careful about what gets thrown my way here. Actually, you know what? I don't want a redundant weakness with Aegis, so what we're going to do here is we are going to switch over to... Yeah, I think Suzaku would work good here. We're going to go with the Agidyne on it. Not as powerful as Phanta Ray, and also as I hit into a resistance, because I forgot that. That was a bit of a mistake there. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to... Let me see here. We should have a couple of these kicking around still. Yes, a Magic Mirror on the protagonist. The only person I care about if he gets taken down, so good way to just give us a catch-all cover on his weakness. Oh, hey, you know what? That actually works out for me. I'm not too pressed about that. He goes for Heat Riser. And he goes for Charge. That's fine. None of that really bothers me. He's got 4 bullets loaded, so he's got some pretty strong stuff coming up. What we're going to do here is, as you can see, the way I've got my team set up now, we can actually do a full round of buffs and debuffs on us, so we are able to just get everything restored that he did to us there. And we can hit him with the Debilitate again. That Debilitate was about to clear anyway, so now we switch over to you and get the Mataru Kaja up. And then we Debilitate him to just completely gimp what he was about to do. There goes Koromaru's Auto Rebellion. And Debilitated. There we go. Primal Force coming out. But it just completely whiffs. And he lost access to his charge there. So I'm guessing he's about to load 5 bullets now. Would have been nice if he winged that at Aegis, but not a big deal. Oh, I guess his pattern just resets at that point. Well, that works out quite nicely for us. Now we can just wail on him. There we go. Good stuff, good stuff. Let's go for a Primal Force here. And we will go for Let's see, Phanta Ray again is just the most consistent Actually, you know what? No, let's go for Primal Force here. Just because that's the chance to crit. That's always a valuable thing to have. And we will use a bead on Akihiko. Get him back up into a condition where he can fire off more God's Hands. Turret is out of bullets. Nice! So we've just completely stuffed this guy. He's got nothing else to use. Now we can just leisurely wail on him. Feels good, feels good. Another Primal Force coming out. Didn't have to use any Theurgies, so I've got them stored up for the next fight.
Good job, everyone.
Alright, what can we get off this shuffle time? We'll go with the money. And, you know what, yeah, we'll take the Medea Rahan card. I don't really need it at this point, but it is there as an option. Feels unfair that it could get in so many shots at once, but I guess we shouldn't expect the enemy to fight fair and square. They're doing all they can to take us down. We can't let them have their way, so you've got my full support. Fuka, we're fighting them 4-on-1 most of the time. There might be a treasure chest up ahead, but I sense an enemy presence there too. If you're worn out from battling, don't push yourself too hard. Take some time to recuperate. Nah, we're continuing. I'm not falling for that one again, Fuka. Okay. Let's auto-recover yet again. Actually, I do need to keep an eye on the protagonist SP here, because we're not going to have those consistent procs for life aid, so we want to make sure everybody has relatively good SP going into the preceding battles, because we're going to be casting a lot of buffs, a lot of debuffs, burning through our SP pretty quickly, particularly if I'm using things like Phanta Ray, so just want to keep that option in mind. Continuing on to the next fight. What do we got going for us in this one? Looks like the Way of the Samurai.
Powerful enemy spotted. Please be careful.
I'm good to go, Fuka. Let's get this fight underway. Koromaru does not like Samurai. He's not a fan, not a fan. Oh wow, that was 4 of you guys. Okay. That was a little bit unexpected. That does mean my debilitate is kind of underwhelming here. What we're gonna do here then, let's see. Unfortunately, we do not have a Power Howling prepped, so that is not an option. But what we can do is use an Atrophying Sutra, which works just about as well. Okay. And we're going to actually have Akihiko use his Lightning Spike here. Unfortunately, I've gotten rid of Shock Boost on him, so not super likely that any of these guys are going to get shocked. Oh, one of them actually did. It's going for the Heat Riser there. Okay. Do they all buff each other up? Well, regardless, let's go for the Myriad Arrows here. See if we can't get a crit. And yes, we did. Yes, we did. You know what? We've got so many guys here. It's probably just prudent to go for the Scarlet Havoc. Make sure we do as much damage as possible to these guys. Get most of them taken out before they can become a problem to us. There we go. Awesome. You know what? We seldom use all-out attacks in boss fights, so why don't we? Let's just give these guys a quick beat down. That was tough. The sight of 4 samurai in full armor is really intimidating. Did you spot slight variations in their helms? Maybe Mr. Ono knows why they're different, since history's his field and all. Then again, he might just go on and on and on, until the shadows would eventually die from boredom. Hey, that's an option. Well, let's keep going. There's still another powerful shadow up ahead. There might be treasure chest up ahead too, but I sense an enemy presence. If you're worn out from battling, no, we're not returning. I always gotta remember, she's trying to trick me there. Fuka is trying to make me make a foolish decision. But I will not be had, I will not be had. You can't trick me twice. Okay, maybe you can trick me a couple times, but not in this situation are you gonna fool me. Sword for Junpei there, which is pretty nice to have. We're not gonna have the protagonist's Theurgy ready into this next battle, but that shouldn't be a big deal. Hey, that guy looks familiar. Huh. Well, looks like we've got a more interesting fight coming up here.
Powerful enemy spotted. Please be careful.
I'm ready as I'll ever be. Once again, gotta get in one more for the road. Looks like this will be interesting. Let's go. Well, last time I fought this guy, I had Takai at my side. It didn't go super well, but it didn't go as horrible as my first playthrough, where I got absolutely decimated. But you can't actually die in that fight. It's a scripted battle where Takaya takes over if you're getting beat too badly. Let's go for a God's Hand here. Okay, and what's this guy gonna try on us? Poison Mist. Not too threatened by that. We've got plenty of status restores at this point. Aegis immediately recovers from it, so it's just nothing to her. Got these, let's see, Dr. and Jellies, where is my... There we go, the Vita G bottles. We'll just use that to get everybody back in fighting form. Nothing to it, nothing to it. We're all good there. Let me see here. I'm going to go for a charge on the Pro Tag. If we're able to do good physical damage to this guy, it would be appreciated. Let's see, Shadow of the Void is not weak to anything, so we just gotta go with our best stuff. As you can see, he recharges his HP every turn, so we need to keep up some pretty consistent damage on this guy if we want to take him down. We'll get another God's Hand going. Mostly what we're trying to do is just build up our Theurgies and pop off at the best way possible. Mabufudine coming out. Akihiko does have good evasion against these. Yes, he's more than capable of dealing with that. What I'm gonna do is, I'm actually going to hold off on having Aegis use her Theurgy, because as you can see, Koromaru's is about to charge, and we can do something pretty good with his. No crit there, which is a bit unfortunate. Ah, man. I was hoping it would charge this turn. Well, that at least gives me an opportunity to use an Akihiko special. If I can get a crit with Akihiko, which is, you know, I'm kind of just being hopeful that I get one there. If I do get it, though, I can pass it back to Koromaru, get the power howling off, and likely finish this guy with Aegis's Theurgy. Another Mabufudine coming out. Another dodge from Akihiko. With his buff amp, he is very evasive when under the effects of Sukukaja, which has helped even more because, again, I've got a piece of equipment that gives him extra evasion. Not going to bother charging this turn because Koromaru is going to be able to power howling us. Oh, whoops, all our buffs are expiring. Alright, we're going to have to slow our roll a little bit. We want to make sure we're in full condition to deal with this guy. So let's get his stat drops extended. And let's start putting all our buffs and buffs back in effect. And we can finish him off with Power Howling next turn. Okay. Looks like, he's going for healing on himself. That's okay, that's okay. We can just chunk through him, no problem. What we're going to do here is get all our buffs back up. There we go. And then Protagonist can boost everybody's defense. Yeah, this should be... Actually, no, you're weak to ice. We'll go for Futsunushi here. Get the Ma Rakukaja. And now it's time to Power Howling and show this guy what we're really capable of. Here we go. Get us all ready to go, Koromaru. I think in my first playthrough, I came into this with all my Theurgies ready, so I just completely bopped this guy before he could do anything. Let's get the God's Hand going here. Come on, crit, 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 yes! Oh, beautiful. Akihiko, you are my main man, and it's time for Aegis to finish this off in style. Maximum firepower, here we go. Ooh, just a little bit short there, but we've got more than enough to deal with this guy. As a matter of fact, maybe I can just ignore this poison. Nah, we'll cure the poison, and let the protagonist finish it off with a cool Brave Blade. Yeah, we got actually pretty bad luck in this fight. We didn't get any crits, really, so... until Akihiko got his, so... Not quite the battle I was hoping for. This could have gone so much faster if Siegfried crit the first time, but that's okay. Now, defeating that guy actually contributes to something else in the game. We need to defeat him in order to unlock something later, so remember to get that guy beaten down. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll just take the money. I can dupe the light amp later.
Oh,
Shadow eliminated. Good work.
wonderful.
We have won. I was designed to be a weapon. The reason I exist is to destroy shadows. That's something that won't ever change, but that's not my only purpose now. It's difficult to put into words, but I wish to stay by everyone's side. By your side, Cullen-san. And that's why I continue to fight. It looks as though you defeated all the shadows in this area. All we have to do now is open that treasure chest. Let's do it. Okay. treasure is going to be acquired. What awaits us in the final chest in the final monad door? Well, let's grab this right here. Korra-chan's excited too. Now try opening it. And we get the Avaricious Amulet plus the Book of Tav. The Book of Tav, the number of major arcana cards obtainable in a day, is increased by 1. There wasn't a tarot card in that one. If we can't open any of the unopened doors, maybe it's best to come back for now. And yes, we have one more door here, but this one is sealed. Seems like the very last door, but it's locked. I wonder if we need something other than tarot cards to unlock it. It seems that I'm missing something that I need to unlock this door. Let's turn back for now. Looks like there's nothing else here. You want to go back out? Yeah, we'll leave Monad for now. Be careful on your way back. It's easy to get lost in there. But that is the final Monad passage, not the final bonus boss of the game. There are 2 conditions you need to open that last door. Obviously, the first one is to clear the Monad passage itself, but there's another foe you need to fight before the option to open that door gets unlocked to you. We'll figure out how that works later. For right now, we're actually kind of ahead of time here, so I've got one last thing I want to take care of before we close out this video. One of the last things we need to do for Elizabeth's side quests is fuse Masakado. Conveniently, we already have one of the personae that is required for fusing him available to us, so why don't we get that underway? Let's get the crit rate amp onto him. Let's give him the piercing skills here, since he's already got a myriad arrows. Give him primal force, and do I have charge here? We do need charge on him specifically in order to complete the quest that Elizabeth is asking of us, but I can just card that onto him. Creating him altogether is the important thing right now. But yes, Masakado is available to us. Keep this guy in mind, because we are going to be doing a lot with him. Well, actually, I've probably already done it in the LP. Never mind. You have to remember, I record this ahead of what I do in other versions of the game. You know, actually, I should have gotten rid of Tempest Slash, which I'm going to do, because that skill sucks. There we go. He also gets Unshaken Will. Ooh, some interesting choices there, but no, we're not going to accept those. Okay, now I have to see if I have a card for him. Also, Elizabeth gave me 2 Twilight Fragments, so I now have the ability to open that last locked chest. Alright, I just cut out like 10 minutes of me fumbling with fusion, because I did not, in fact, have a charge card. But I did get a better version of Masakado fused regardless, and probably I can bench Bishamontan now, because this persona is just better than him. So, we've got 2 requests to turn in. First off, we defeated the Shadow of the Void. Seems you've completed this one. Well done on vanquishing the Shadow of the Void. That was one of the vilest creatures lurking in the shadows of Tartarus. It's very impressed that you managed to defeat it. Truly. Please take this as your reward. We get a Dead Moon's Husk. Hey! And, oh, seems you've already completed this request. Well done. You have a Masakado that meets the requirements I specified. That brings us to the end of my persona-related requests. I've asked you to fuse 10 different personas. It may not have been easy, but the fact remains that you still managed to fulfill each and every one of my requests. I hope that the many powers dwelling within your heart will aid you on your journey. Please take this as your reward. And we get 2 Nihil White models. Very nice, very nice. I'm going to have to reorganize my persona stock, because I kind of tore it asunder, to try and create something that could get me a Masakado. Also pulled out these junk personae, just to see what my options were with them. Regardless, let's head up to the top floor once again. And let's close out this video properly. First off, we've got that locked chest to open, but also we didn't actually reach the top floor we're able to reach at this point, so why don't we head there?
Found a rare treasure chest.
I know, I guess it's so exciting. I had just enough Twilight Fragments and found just enough to get a butler suit. How dapper. Makes me feel good, makes me feel good. Regardless, let's get up to that top floor and actually see what awaits us beyond the final staircase in Persona 3 Reload. We've made it to the 256th floor. I sense an open area with no walls a few floors up. That's probably what Ryoji-kun was talking about. The way to the promised place. That's where we're supposed to go on January 31st. We've made it this far. I have faith in you. No matter what's waiting for us ahead, you won't. We won't lose. It's time to put all on the line. This is the fight to the end. To end them. Indeed. There is the final barricade in Persona 3 Reload. For the time being, final teleporter. And that is the end of this video. Woof! got a lot done this time, and I have yet more to do. Like I said, I'm going to be splitting off a separate save file over here where I can do grinding on my own time to get prepared for the game's bonus boss, but I don't think any of that will be necessary for this part of the game. There is something separate that I want to accomplish in Tartarus that I want to do on this file, but I'm already going to do, I'm going to do right now on the other file, so we'll get to that when we get to that. I've been rambling for long enough. I've got 9 hours of footage to sort through, so it's gonna be, well, maybe like more like 8 hours. Regardless, a lot of footage to sort through, so it's gonna be tough for me to get all these edited, but well, you're going to miss the hard part of these, and I'll have already accomplished so much in the time between when I've finished this video and when I've uploaded it. It's just, we're so close to the end, man. We're getting there. We're getting there. Hope you see this ride through to the end with me. Until next time, though, goodbye.
I don't dispute the doubts you've outlined, but it's my right to waste your time.